Currently live on Facebook and Instagram. Got the Deep V back, making its reprise. Definitely been busy a lot past couple days and getting into the weekend, which is going to be busy as well. Today started off with a bang, got my carpet cleaned. Stupidly, when I moved here, I didn't want to smoke in here, and I did some kind of like precautions to get rid of the smell. But it was still a little bit smell, so my sister hooked it up and actually helped me get a carpet clean in here, and so it smells really nice and clean. Actually was good because some of the paint from the walls actually had gotten kind of on the carpet, so now that's gone. So from these videos, which have been like very successful, not the only reason I'm doing it, but been reaching out, people kind of reaching out to me about potential investments and like, the thoughts that they have for, how they can build their wealth and stuff like that. Just really excited. People probably think that, we have all the answers in the world, realtors. To be honest, I don't know everything, but I am more than willing to ask questions, and I have a, plethora of resources between my brokerage in South Carolina and Massachusetts, as well as just my network of people where I know for a fact I can get almost any question answered, no problem. There's also lots of resources online, which I utilize, which is always good. Sorry, I'm looking over here. Oh, terrible writing for sure. But yeah, there's actually a pretty cool thing, as well as like having some other people, potential like partnerships long-term, as well as, having people work with as buyer clients. I have one person I've been working with, and, I myself am kind of in between, really having the cash flow on hand to get another mortgage. I do want to make that second investment. And so one of my buddies actually came up with the idea that maybe we go in together. I have a little bit of a down payment I can come up with. I can certainly help with the monthly payments. The goal would be to actually rent it out and make payments that way, not really out of pocket, and start to stash money. I don't love the idea of mixing, like friends and business. You can run into some issues with that. But this person specifically, a lot of trust there. I'm not going to disclose the name, but we were co-captains back in the day, so that gives away a little bit. But, we just share a bond that there's definitely a trust that goes kind of deep there. The other thing, just calling out, not being hard on myself, but want to be just, present to it and aware. I have two people that I'm trying to help their website. I also have to help my own website. And so it'd be good maybe to pick a day next week to just kind of block out all external factors and just really nail that down. I think sometimes that's important. Work a plan or make a plan and work the plan. And so right now I've been a little bit just kind of taking the top items and going through those in terms of what I want to do. And so it'd be nice to actually just, although it's not the top priority, I think there's a lot of value in it. In fact, one of the person's websites that I'm going to be helping with, he's a potential buyer. So it's kind of a twofer, right? And so not only am I helping a friend, but also kind of encouraging him to potentially work with me in the future. And so, kind of got a random list in front of me, just going through it. Coastal baseball, really excited for that. Me and my dad have season tickets. We got a cool little field box, kind of in our own little world. One thing I really want to create is just like a strong tailgate, and it would be awesome to have like a real good kind of crowd going into that. I would really love to get more and more people to those coastal games. I'm not really sure if I'll be drinking during them or not, kind of on the fence there. I like the sober route right now. It's been working well for me. So I might just be there kind of sober tailgating, but doesn't mean can't have a good time. I could be grill master. It's always good to have a designated driver, so being safe, because you have to come all the way from Conway back to Myrtle Beach, about a 20-minute ride. Definitely good to have a designated driver there. It's also cool, so I checked out this spot in Conway called the Coop, which is like kind of a coastal Carolina bar, and then there's like the sister bar, the tilted floor or something like that. I don't know, crooked floor. But anyways, it's not usually open to the public besides maybe like happy hour. Wasn't really all that packed, so they were cool with letting a 30-year-old man get in there. I guess there was actually a 70-year-old freshman that was there, and one person tried to kind of get him out of there, and he's like, no, I'm a student. And so it's mostly for students. I guess they've run into some issues in the past with other people, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed the wings. That's kind of what I got. It was good, friendly conversation. It's no diss to Boston. I don't mean a diss at all, but when I used to go out in Boston, it was very hard to make friends with anyone besides maybe the bartender. You might run into a couple instances where people kind of know someone that you know, and they're a little bit open. But it's just the lack of community up there was part of the reason why I really liked being down here. Every time I ever visited, you just like join in on a conversation and people are more than welcoming, which was very cool there. You know, I made a couple jokes. They recommended what wing flavors to try out, and they invited me back another time. I kind of joked. I was like, who knows if I'll be let in, you know, because it's not really meant for old folk like me, but it'd definitely be cool to check out. It was a little bit quieter on a Thursday. You'd think it'd be big. I guess the other bar is a little bit more happening, but they tend to be a little more strict. I just really wasn't like trying to go party. I'm not like drinking or anything like that. Just kind of wanted to see the scene. It was something I drove by a few times. So that was cool to check out. Yeah, I mean, big call out right here. This is the one that, it's not a dark cloud. It's kind of a interesting cloud. And so this weekend I have an audition for a comedy show, which is going to be like a play. And that's called The Doctor in Spite of Himself. And so I'm not really that nervous about that, although I haven't really prepped for it. And I definitely want to prep so that I'm kind of got my A game going and stuff like that. I don't know if I set my teeth. I was eating tacos right before this, so apologies. But yeah, so I want to get into that. I don't really want the main role, but for some reason, like, you know, when you identify with a character, the Doctor himself, I don't even remember his name. It's like Emmanuel. It's kind of like a French play. But I just identify with him. There's other couple cool roles. I'm really happy with whatever I get. The less lines that I have to memorize, the better. But I definitely just want a chance to kind of be funny, bring my A game to a comedy, and just kind of break the ice there. I am aspiring to be a writer. Would love to be a comedian. I don't know. I just like have this like desire to do it. Public speaking does scare me and make me nervous. Hell yeah. Absolutely, Max. You know, Beauty and the Beast. That was a musical. I don't know how I remembered those lines. I couldn't even tell you. I was trying to find the film of it. That's somewhere deep in the archives. Have to reach out to Mr. Baldwin, which is a little creepy in itself, but he might have the film there. It was unfortunate, actually. Barbara Anderson passed away. She was the director of that. She was a OG, really great woman, you know, bringing kind of drama and stuff like that to the middle school FBMS days. But yeah, and then the other thing that's bizarre or like a little bit more scary is I have a stand-up, not special by any means, open mic. And it's not even like just a comedy thing. Like a lot of poets are going to be there, spoken word, singers. And so I'm just going to be doing comedy in the middle of it, which I'm pretty sure is pretty awkward in general when the whole vibe isn't comedy. But excited to try that out. I have a lot of like stories and funny ideas and jokes. Punchlines are a lot easier said than done. And so going to figure that out. I think the important thing is not being nervous so that I can kind of have some comedic timing. And I'm perfectly fine. If I bomb, don't make one person laugh the whole time, not going to hurt me one bit, right? Like I might sit there and be like, how can I do better next time? But I really don't expect to do anything besides get up there and just be nervous as hell, maybe a little awkward and get through it. I got a few character ideas. Like I might just kind of Andy Kaufman it and almost be like the Foreigner skit that he used to do, which is pretty funny. Not committed to that yet. I was going to maybe share some of the content, but I got some good advice from my uncle. You want to be careful, you know, before you get to the moment, because you might psych yourself out. You know, someone might not react the way that it's going to react on the stage. It's also really awkward telling a joke like right to someone's face, kind of unnaturally. But when you're up there, I think there's a little more room for it. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. So in the next few days, with as little time as I have, I definitely need to write down something and actually rehearse it. It's actually funny. Like I keep having these funny jokes and I'm like, oh, I'm going to record it on my phone, do a voice memo, never do it. And then it's just lost. So that's a shame on me. I'm going to have to maybe after this call, go in the shower and kind of like get some shower thoughts going, instantly record it down and get it there. It's only like a 7-minute bit. Funny enough, it's actually going to be broadcast worldwide. Well, not worldwide, but just on the internet. And so I don't want to give you guys that link, but I probably will share it ultimately. Very nervous to share that link because I'm definitely going to bomb. And so if you want to see me bomb, you can check it out. I also am a little bit nervous just because, you know, hey, what's up, guys? Shout out to everyone joining right now. Kind of got a mixed message before from people. It's like, oh, don't call me out. It's actually funny, too, because after the fact, you can't see who joined. People who just joined, you know who you are. Much appreciated. Long time no see. maybe one day we'll get that Madden League back going, boys. You know, as long as Russo doesn't have Mercole Hardman 99, just God squad, you know. But it was good seeing like Joko get some. I think we all kind of got our comeuppance on him, which was good. But that's, you know, hearsay. So back focused on the comedy and the live aspect. I plan on being very, I don't want to say edgy because I'm not offensive, but like the wrong person probably would. And so like I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. The Instagram crowd I'd be less nervous about. Facebook might be a little edgy for Facebook. So Facebook folks, maybe don't join in unless you have a strong stomach. Not going to go into details now, but let me just say that it's going to be like kind of Bill Burr-esque, not nearly as good. Think of swearing, kind of getting angry, frustrated. That's about all I got going for me, really. So, gonna kind of channel my inner Bill Burr, maybe my Louis C.K. What's up, Renee? How's it going? Hope all is well. But yeah, you know, I'll channel my inner Louis C.K. without maybe the sexual predatorness that he's got going, but maybe that's what makes him funny. Who knows? So I'll have to dig deep there. Definitely talked a lot about comedy. The last thing I'll say is my uncle is just absolutely hilarious, Jim Donovan. Has some great ideas, just some good feedback for me and stuff like that. So it was nice chatting with him because I was definitely nervous beforehand. Let's see what else I have. So it is a busy weekend. It started today. Today was pretty wild. Had the carpet cleaned. Helped my dad put in kind of those like seat covers because the front seats of his car was a little bit messed up. Got that done. Actually cut my hand, which I don't think you'll be able to see it that well. I don't know. That camera. So it's hard to see. And then that camera. It's cut. It doesn't really look that bad. It's just really annoying. It's like a turf burn. But that was going to get that done. And then I actually went to a bunch of showings, which I was talking about. Maybe I'll go over that a little bit. The first two I saw, I loved them. So they were a little bit on the higher side. Both of them were above 250. But they're in Little River. And there's a lot of potential for investors there. These were beautiful. Very well designed. You know, just the top of the line. I actually really like the bathrooms. I'm a big shower guy. Showers were amazing. If anyone's interested in that, they are both short-term rentals, like I said. Then I went to Conway, and I like Conway a lot. It's not as close to the beach, so you get a different type of renter. Probably a smaller return on investment, just slightly. But I do think it's up and coming. And so in terms of appreciation, great investment for appreciating your value. It's going to go way up. But it's just... You got to find the right one, have the right demand and stuff like that. You have Coastal Carolina there. You have the downtown Conway, which is beautiful. So there's a lot of great things out in Conway. You just got to find the right spot. The first one I thought I was going to like, and it's just one of those instances where the pictures were way better online than in person. There was also a bit of like a dog smell in there I didn't love. You know, I think it could be, I don't want to say restorated. It would be easy to get rid of the smell, I think, but... It was off-putting. Sometimes you like a place like that because it's pushing people away. They're not necessarily like running to invest at it. So you can maybe get like a good investment there, putting the amount a little bit under. A lot of work was needed. There was like carpeting throughout that, you know, just based on that smell, I would probably rip it up and put LVP in, the laminate vinyl planks. The next place I went to, so that was actually funny too. I'll just say real quick, it is a bit awkward because the owners were like in a trailer out front and like, I don't know, they probably store it there usually, or maybe that's where they're going on like a long camping trip after they sell the place. But they were just in the camper and I'm like pulling up late at, you know, they're kind of like, as I pull up, I hear them like, shh, like doing like the whispers. And, yeah, so I'm like trying not to talk bad about the property, but I'm also dealing with remote buyers. So I really have to like talk about what I see. So that was certainly awkward. And then the second one, this is also on me because I'm running late a little bit. Like that's just the classic realtor. You set any more than 3 showings, like you're easily going to be late. And it doesn't matter how much time you give in between them. You just find a way to mess it up. You get like a phone call come in or whatever. So the next place I went to is funny. As I pull in, the people who live there, they pulled in with their pizza. And so they're like, do you mind if I eat in there? And I'm just like, dude, who am I to say you guys can't eat your dinner? Like you got to eat it in your car. I'm like, I'm at your house right now. So I was like, of course you can. So the video I ended up getting is like a mix of me walking around trying to like quietly talk about the property without, you know, offending them or anything. And then I'm also just talking their ears off and being like, oh, how's the pizza? You know, Little Caesars and stuff like that. They were nice folk. Definitely cool people moving to Michigan. That property just need a lot of work. I do like the side yard. It's hard to like make an investment at 200,000 with that much work. You know, I previously, where my experience comes in good is I bought a house that looked pretty good on the surface, but the more and more you look at it, certain things, older houses can be just tough, right? And I think for the right investor, they're perfect. Someone who has the money, who has the means. Yeah. So anyways, this is a lot of real estate talk. The last two things I'll make, try to bullet them quick. I went to this one house I didn't even record. My buddy called me. I was on the phone with him for like an hour. One of the people that, you know, I might end up investing with, which is awesome. But as I'm sitting there, I'm like doing a couple laps in the kitchen. We have palmetto bugs down here, which they look like roaches, and it doesn't mean your place is dirty. Like you'll just have one here and there and they die because you have like poison form or whatever. It's the palmetto trees, truthfully. There was no palmetto trees there, and they had like, I don't even think these were palmetto bugs. Like I think these were real roaches. I'm not going to tell you what the address was, but it was insane. It was a lot. Yeah, there was like baby roaches. I'd never really seen so many around. Not that it was a dangerous neighborhood, but there was even like a bullet casing there. I was just like, I told my guy I'm on the phone with him, like, yeah, I'm not even going to record this. I don't think it's the spot. And again, it's not that the area was dangerous. Like it could have just been someone went to the range and it fell in their pocket. It wasn't like I saw a bullet hole or anything like that. It was just a shell. So no need for alarm. What I do want to mention though, and want to raise to people, and something I'm looking into is through Conway, there's a lot of these new constructions, 0 HOA. So you're paying like the sticker price, your insurance, taxes, that's it. You're not paying a monthly HOA that goes to who knows what. You know, it's all your own money. There's no one telling you what to do, no strict guidelines, stuff like that. So yeah, no HOA is great. These all had short-term rentals and they're brand new for $250 or less. And so if you guys are interested in that, that sounds good to you, definitely reach out. Worth noting, you're a little bit away from the beach, about 30 minutes, but, you know, if you're already 30 minutes from the beach where you are now, it's not a bad investment at all. And they're short-term, so you can really take advantage of it there. There's plenty of golf courses out in Conway, so there's a lot of potential there. So that's my real estate talk there. You know, one thing I do want to shout out is my neighbor Mario. He's been just a good friend since I moved in. Like anytime I second guess what the heck I was doing moving down here, like did I make the right choice? Did I pick the wrong place to live? Not every friend is like Mario is. I really want to, you know, shout him out. Great friend to me. He's been a good neighbor. You know, I love his girlfriend there, Meg. She's a, you know, true. And then little Phil's a great dude as well. His, I think like 1-year-old, almost 2-year-old, great guy. And he just like really put me under his wing, accepted me as a friend from basically day one. So if you end up watching this, Mario, big shout out to you. He's the one that I was in the car with. He does like the drag racing and stuff like that. Drag racing. He does drift racing. But yeah, good guy overall. And he's just been good at getting me to the gym. He kind of busts my balls a little, but sometimes I need that. But ultimately, you know, he does care. It's coming from a place of just care and compassion. He knows that I want to be in the gym, and some days I'll slack off. So big shout out. Get yourself a gym buddy, if not me. You know, like me if you're like me. Couple other things, honorary mention over here, things to kind of bring up quickly. Big shout out to Paul Mead coming down. You know, really excited to hang out with you. Brings me back to the BC football tailgate days. Hopefully we have a good time. Definitely get a wingman together, which will be awesome. Yeah, you know, it's kind of sad because I have this one buddy who got me a life insurance policy back in the day, and I was like his first client. I always joke with him that like when he buys a house, he better use me because I was his first client, OG, that trusted him. It's not his fault, but I just don't love the product. Personally, if I needed coverage, like if I was to die and needed my house paid off, I would get a term policy. This is one of those like cash products where the value's supposed to grow, but if I do the math, I think I've paid something like $20,000 and it's only worth like $12,000. I just don't like the math. I'm like, and it's one of those things, sometimes when you do something for a while, you're like, oh, well, I've been doing it for 5 years. Like I've literally had it for like 8 years since I got out of college. And you know, it's hard to break off because I'm like, I've been doing it for 8 years, but I just don't see the value. He's a good friend of mine, and you know, he might lose a little money, but he'll be all right. And at the end of the day, I'm sure I'll get a new policy, but I just feel like it's like I'm paying so much. I don't see the value in it. I'd like to roll it into an annuity, and I'm happy to help him out. Like, I have a 401k from my old job that I need to roll into an annuity or make a new one. He'll make some money off that, so I'm not too worried about it. At the end of the day, you know, my well-being and my finances are more important than the relationship we have. And if he can't understand that, then really he's not a good friend anyways. And so, you know, that's just my lesson to you is like, don't keep doing something wrong because you've always done it. And that's something I used to say at work too, is like, okay, we've done it this way for 3 years, but if it's not the right thing to do, then why are we still doing it? And so definitely considering canceling that. I'd love to see what he says, and I'm sure I'll give you feedback whether I actually went through with it or not. You know, salesmen can be good. I'm in the world of sales, although I'm not really the guy that, you know, twists things like that. That's not how I really roll, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be a good game of wits. Oh, yeah, I really just want to like get focused. So I've been doing a lot, and I got to keep doing real estate every day, obviously, because that's like my main source of income. But I do have another way that's more like daily, a business that I'm starting. So Love Your Lawn Care is a website that I own. I have all these electric landscaping equipment from, you know, I think it's like a 50 or maybe under 58 or under 50 inches, but it's maybe like a 48 or 42 inch ride on, and it's great. You know, I have the push mower as well. I have weed whackers, edgers, trimmers, tree trimmers, 2 blowers. So my goal is to really start like a 2-man team. I'll probably be out there on my own at first, just crushing it until I get like 10 clients. And then once I have 10 clients, probably train someone how to do the work, and then keep getting clients, and then eventually, you know, have him work with someone else, and I just keep getting clients. I would love the passive income from it. I'm perfectly fine getting some exercise myself and keeping it afloat. Ultimately, I'll save money by doing it, but I really hope that I can be so busy with real estate that I just take some money and, you know, pay someone to actually do the work. And I want to pay well. So I'm working out a payment structure. Thanks, Renee. I appreciate it. You know, you definitely be that first hire, and you could be the one running it. So I'm working on a payment structure that is fair, that you start off kind of with pretty good wages, almost close to like 17 to 20 an hour when you do kind of the bonuses that I'm going to give in. So I definitely don't want to encourage people to just rush through a job and do a bad job. Like, I'll have to have some sort of rule that's like, okay, if the customer complains and it's a valid complaint, you know, you can only get maybe like one of those a quarter until it's like something needs to be done. You know, we got to like slow down or something like that. But my goal is actually to incentivize getting yards done. And so I don't know the exact amount, but I do see it as like you have almost like a base pay that you'll make a decent wage, and, you know, you're expected to get at least like, you know, I'd love to get 10 lawns done a day, would be awesome. And so like basically giving like an extra $3 to $5, maybe only $2 to $5, you know, whatever it is per lawn. And so that incentivizes them to, instead of getting like 1 lawn done an hour, to try to actually get like 2 or 3 done an hour. And it's no harm to me, because if they end up getting more done and they do it well, well, then I'm making more as well. And so I'm not here to be the CEO that makes, you know, 80% of the profits or anything like that. I know I'm taking the risk and doing some good work, but I think it's important to take care of your employees. As someone who's worked for managers that, you know, seem like they just ride you to the ground, I don't want to be that guy at all. I actually want to eventually make it so that it can be franchised, and really like all my top, you know, producers in the company would be like their own franchise owner, and eventually branch out. The main goal is it's part of Monday Vert and our goal to just really bring like clean products to the world. I don't get why more landscapers don't use electrical equipment. Kind of doesn't make sense to me, because you're mostly working in the sun anyways. And so the fact that they have all these gas, loud equipment, it's just, you know, you have noise pollution as well as the carbon footprint. And a lot of people love to point out that down here in the South, no one really cares about the environment, is the quote I get a lot, which is like, maybe. I think some people do actually care, even from down here. I think some people care that have moved down. But ultimately, the noise itself is a selling point. And so even if you don't care about the gas at all, absolute selling point is the noise. You're also going to have a lot less risk of like gas prices making the job more expensive. And I think we can be competitively priced where we don't have to worry about the cost of gas. We just have to worry more about maintenance of equipment, purchasing extra batteries so that it works. I'd love to have like a solar panel attached to my trailer, so that I'm actually generating the energy and not just like charging it from a coal-based power plant somewhere else. So that's like my goals in a nutshell for that. Definitely check out Love Your Lawn Care, Love Your Lawn Doc Care, that is. And in the next few weeks, you're going to see me advertising for it a lot more. Like I said, I just need to get 10 clients and I'm going to start to have the business, right? And then 10 clients will become 20 clients, 30, 40. I think eventually the numbers that I want, at least within the year, would be like 100, which is probably very unlikely or wishful thinking. But it's definitely something where I could sustain, pay people a good wage, and then ultimately, you know, start to use that money to buy more properties, buy more equipment. I would love to, you know, provide trucks to my people, not have to have them rough their trucks up and stuff like that. So ultimately it's employee focused, but it's also like earth focused. That's my company, loveyourlawn.care. Truth be told, being a business owner is really tough. I've learned a lot from being a realtor in terms of owning my own business, but that's not even scratching the surface. I still have a brokerage, all the insurance and stuff like that. Worth noting, and it's a little bit easier to start up, a little less risk maybe. I want to do something similar with a moving company. And so I'm on like the U-Haul, it's called like movinghelper.com. But eventually I'd like to just kind of advertise to realtors in the area because, you know, it makes sense in the business we're in to try to work with realtors to help people move. Very similarly, I want to take care of my employees, right? And so what I actually plan on offering is I'm going to try to get $120 an hour for two people to work. And as my business and the insurance and kind of, you know, scheduling and all that, I would take $40 an hour, which is great. I mean, that's awesome for me, like even more than I probably deserve. And then I would actually like to split out $40 an hour for each employee. And the main reason being that is, you know, I've had it before where people help me move and they're just not compensated well enough. Actually, when I moved down here, it was pretty miserable. At first, the guys were moving so slow and they were saying, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like, listen, I didn't pay you to complain. I wasn't trying to be mean, but I'm like, I didn't pay you to complain. I'm like, what your boss did, that's his fault, not my problem. Like, I'm here, I'm helping. And yeah, so I want them to be compensated. Well, I want people to not have to look for another job. I'd love to teach them the business. I'm not gatekeeping by any means. Still learning a lot and kind of maybe scared to take that leap. But all these little leaps of faith I'm taking and getting over that fear is going to help ultimately get over those fears. That's another reason why I'm not drinking, not smoking. I'll never be able to do these things if I keep doing that. It's just, you know, even right now, the days fly by. So next week, one day is already gone to the website. And then one day is going to be gone to getting those afloat. So between Love Your Lawn Care and the moving company, I just need to sit in there and focus up. This weekend's going to be impossible to do that. But if I have any time at all, definitely we'll shift some focus there. Cool. So the last thing that I'm going to say, you know, is like my goal is to really up my followers. I've seen a lot coming and going. I basically even went through my old like Tinder and Bumble matches and was like, had this generic message. Oh crap, they might hear it now. But I was just like, hey, you know, clout chasing, give me a follow. Like I'll follow back and, you know, no problem at all. Like I don't mind giving the follow back. I'm just trying to get my numbers up because I know once the momentum builds, I certainly will keep getting more and more followers. I don't want to buy followers. I could definitely see myself buying ads in the future, but waiting till I really have enough content to nail it home. Probably getting close with 100, but I'd like to really like maybe get almost like a month under my belt of this vlog and see where it goes and then maybe start to pay. I really need to take some time. So maybe next week as well will be the day of just like setting off full days, time blocks where I need to cut up the film, right? So I have these long, like 20 minute, 10 minute, however long this video is. I guess we're almost at 30 minutes right now. But I need to trim it up, right? And so that there's the juicy parts, the meaty parts, kind of like you're used to seeing from like the Joe Rogan podcast. I wouldn't consider this a podcast as much as it's like a vlog or journal that I'm kind of putting forth. And so eventually though, I would like to have like little short snippets, stuff that I can share, stuff that maybe is easier to go around. I don't think I would pay for advertising on a 30-minute video. I don't even know what that would do or what return that would bring. But I'm learning a lot. I keep reading things about how to get more people involved, how to get more people on. And I don't even know if I believe half the people or if they're just trying to sell a product, but just trying the things they're doing and learning from it myself. You know, I like to learn things. I like to master things. When I set a goal, I often achieve it. So, yep, that's about that. So definitely would appreciate any of you guys. I appreciate the support. Everyone that joined in here just even like for a second, much thanks. Anyone watching it later on, even bigger thanks. Really appreciate you guys supporting. Send some comments in, put some love in there. Let me know what you're up to. Keep sending the private messages. For anyone who's not ready to be out there and, comment, I still welcome the private messages. Send me a text message. I'm always here, no matter what it is. I love hearing from people. And I do my best to answer everyone. I don't think I've missed any, but not going to say I won't ever miss someone or leave you hanging for a little bit. But that's not intentional, is the end of the day. I know I said the last thing probably already, but I just have a question for you all. Is like, how could I make this experience any better? Like, what are you looking to get out of this? What is some constructive criticism for me? Obviously I'm not going to sit here and like be an OnlyFans chick or like foot finder. And even like, I don't know, like I'd love to eventually have skits and stuff like that, but that's not really what I'm doing on this page at this time. So I'd love to know in the frame of like positive thinking and, daily vlogging and just, stuff that I'm up to, like, what are ways that this could be improved for you? What would be a way that would make you feel more engaged to comment on it, push it out to other people? How could I help people in your world? And that's ultimately what's important to me. It's going to help me reach my goal, but it's also just my deep down goal in life is helping others, right? And that's why I exist. That's my fulfillment. That's my purpose. And when you really know your purpose, nothing's better than doing it. And so my purpose isn't sitting at a desk job all day. My purpose, isn't making endless money and working crazy hours, but it's about having fun and enjoying the experience. I forget where I read, but it's like if you're so busy about the destination and you don't get to enjoy the journey, it's like you just missed out on the whole kind of benefit of what you took on, And so like the end destination should be kind of just a secondary part. Finish with a solid quote / theme. I like that. I'll have to pick one next time, but maybe I'll come in with one. What I'll actually do is, let's see what I can do. I like that suggestion, though. It's a good one, Max. I appreciate you sticking it out for the long haul, too. Big thanks. I'm trying to think if there's a quote specifically that I like that I can pull up, that I can think of. And it's funny, you would think I'd have a few. I actually might have one. Of course, my phone's there. Let me look up real quick. It's a pretty good one. Bear with me here. It's actually from Fight Club, too, believe it or not, the book. Short story about it while I pull it up. I read it to my girlfriend once, my ex-girlfriend. And I thought it was actually a really nice quote, right? Like, to me, I'll explain the meaning of it, too. But to her, it was actually really sad, which is interesting, the different perspective. And so, just going to pull my other stream over here. So the quote goes, I don't think they gave me the full one here, but this is enough of it. And so he goes, 1 minute was enough, Tyler said. A person had to work hard for it, but a minute of perfection was worth the effort. A moment was the most you could ever expect from perfection. And so I'll say it one more time because I might have tripped on that. And so 1 moment was enough, Tyler said. A person had to work hard for it, but a minute of perfection was worth the effort. A moment was the most you could ever expect from perfection. And so obviously what was sad about that was that my ex-girlfriend heard it as like, oh, well, I'll never be perfect. And that's sad. And I think we already knew that no one's perfect. So that's not really that sad to me. What's exciting about it or interesting and really relates to me is that, everyone wants happiness, fulfillment, but it's so temporary. But if you could just be present in that one moment that perfection exists, that happiness exists, I mean, that is all you can get. It's like worth the effort. And so I think that's really important. If you've never read the book Fight Club, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty different from the movie, as you could guess. They did a great job kind of interpreting and making their own. But that's just a quote that's important to me, right? And so, we're striving for perfection, even just a moment of it, right? And if you ever find that moment where your brain is no longer racing, you're not having racing thoughts, you're not worrying about the future, you're just really present. That's ultimately what meditation is. And it takes monks like, not thousands of years, but almost their whole lifetime to develop that skill. And they might not be able to have that meditation for more than a brief second. And so the key to it isn't about having it last forever, but it's about having it last as long as you can and being present when there is that perfection in life. And so that's what I'll leave it on. Max, next time, I'll definitely come in with a quote because I kind of prep before anyway. So that'll definitely be good. Maybe I can start it off that way or end it that way. But I love the suggestion. So thanks again, everyone, for joining. I almost said the last thing again, but I challenge you guys the next day, 24 hours before you join again or you see my face, do something you're afraid to do. Do something that you don't want to do that you've been putting off. And don't make it just something boring, but make it something that truly will leave an impact on your life or others. I thank you all for inspiring me. I thank the people in my life for being there and supporting. Having a support system is so important. And even if you don't feel like you have it, you can create one, believe it or not. And like I said, there's a built-in one. If you go to a church, I can almost guarantee you that half the people there are going to be very nice to you. If not, you can go to a basketball run, right? Like you can find an old man softball league. There's so many ways to connect to people. Definitely find yourself a support system. I appreciate you all for being there, and I hope you have a great one. One love. Peace out. Facebook's done. Instagram done.